Welcome, everybody. Let me see. Who can I see? Venetia, hello, my darling. How are you? Veronique, lovely to see you. Janet, how lovely to see you again, my darling. How are you? We got Penny. Nice to see you again, Penny. Jane is here. Hi, darling. Devinda, nice to see you. Please do feel free to put your cameras on if you want to. Penny, lovely to see you again. How are you keeping? Unmute, darling. Feel free to unmute yourselves.
I'm me. Oh, hi. I'm
Hi,
very
Penny.
well, thank you. Hi. How's everybody?
Yeah, lovely to see you again. Keeping well, thank you. Elizabeth is here, picture of dog. Devinda, I see you there. Hello. Annie B is just joining. Lovely. Right. Well, a few people probably join us as we. Ah, there's Annie. Hello, darling. Lovely to see you. So, just logistics first. Has everybody got a glass of water? Because that's one of the most important things. If
No,
anybody
well, I've got tea.
If anybody hasn't and would like to, please feel free to go and get yourselves a glass of water now because we'll be talking about that later. So
It's
important.
8 o'clock for me in the morning, so I know coffee is not the biggest the best thing, but I'm on coffee now.
Veronique, you've got coffee. Where are you, my love?
Montréal, Canada. I'm the French Canadian.
French Canadian.
Yeah,
Oh, other
yeah,
side of the world.
yes.
Amazing. Oh,
My English, I do understand everything, but you'll see my accent, and I have lack of vocabulary for sure, but you'll understand me.
absolutely. Well, it's
Yeah.
lovely to have you all the way from Canada. And Venetia's there in Spain. Who else have we got in various parts of the world?
Suffolk.
Suffolk? Penny, you're in the UK. You're in the UK now, aren't you?
I am. I'm in Littlehampton.
But you are from,
I'm from Zimbabwe.
yeah, I remember now. Adele is just joining us. My good friend, my good tent chum, Adele. Hi, welcome, Adele. We shared a tent together at Peak Fest. We'd never met before, had we? We shared a tent together and had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was it was a great time.
How are you keeping, my love?
Not too bad. I've just had like a 2 week cold. So I'm just kind of picking back up. But yeah.
There's so
Yeah,
much of it going around, isn't there?
yeah, it's a bit
I
rubbish.
I am starting to run some singing again in the local community. Having been a choir leader for 6 years before COVID, and then anyway, running some singing again. And I had about 3 or 4 people yesterday saying, "Can't come, got a cold. Can't come, I've lost my singing voice. Can't come, don't want to pass this on to anybody." So there's definitely a lot of it going around, and well, I feel like I've escaped it. Touch wood.
Mhm.
Let's.
But to be fair, it was really unusual for me to be ill because I'm never ill. So I can't actually remember the last time I was ill. So this is the first time in my life that I've actually had to, rearrange clients or see them online because, yeah, I've just not been ill. So it's probably about time, to be fair. Thank you.
Everybody gets it now and again, don't they? And you can't escape it altogether. And it sounds like you've got a pretty good immune system if this is the first time in a long time. So well done, you. Right, logistics, my darling. So that's water mentioned. Right, so we had 35 people sign up for this. And so far we've got how many in the room? About 10 in the room. So I don't know, maybe people will join us. And I know some people signed up for the replay. But I'd love to give you all an extra special bonus for showing up live because you always get so much more out of it when you show up live, don't you? You take it in more, you pay attention more. And it's just really, really nice to have live faces in the group, and it means that I can actually share my wisdom with you live in person. So I'm going to give people a little bit longer, but in fact, if I share now in the chat, and if anybody joins us, I can always share it again. But I did promise you a little freebie. So I'm just going to post the link in there. Actually, I'm going to hold on because I don't want it to distract you. But if I forget, please do let me know towards the end. I'll show you my little freebie at the end, all right, which is my recipes. I've been working with my assistant Jill to collect together all the recipes that I post in my challenge groups. And all the ones that I've created are the ones that I use every day to make things easier, grab and go basics. And so I'd love to share those with you. Please remind me. So what else? It's only a little group, so please do feel free to chip in. Yeah, so a few of you know each other. I think I more or less know everybody. I haven't met some of you before. So let's just keep it very informal. So do feel free to come on the microphone. Do feel free to ask me questions as we go through. And if there's anything you don't understand, just ask me to go through. So I'm going to share my slides so that I just remember everything that I want to say to you. So let me just hit share. Present my slides, present to view. Somebody else is joining us. I'll just let them in. And then if I hit share, let me see if you can see that. Who can see that?
Sue, Sue, do you want to make me co-host so you can concentrate on that and I can let people in?
Oh, Venetia, you're an absolute darling. Thank you. I will indeed do that so you can let people in. So
Where does it, will it just notify me on here?
Yeah, it'll come in at the top as people join, and then you can just admit.
Okay.
So usually I turn off the waiting room. You can't do that because there's no passcode, so you have to leave the waiting room enabled. So thanks, Venetia.
Okay.
So, my darlings, for any of you that haven't met me before, and I know most of you here, I think, but I'm Sue Ella, and I am what I would like to call a health transformation and food relationship coach. I used to call myself health, vitality, and weight loss coach because actually weight loss is one of the things that is really important to people, and it just happens to be one of the main benefits of the program that I coach. A few people in this room will testify to that, but for me, it's not so much about weight loss. It's about the energy, the vitality, the body confidence, the health, overcoming the symptoms. Those are what's important to me. It's being able to live life to the full. And for some people, releasing some weight is really, really important. And it happens as a natural side effect. But I've taken the weight loss out of there because I want people to kind of let that go and think about their health, their vitality, overcoming symptoms. And it all centers on our food relationship. So that's just what I do these days. And what did I do before? Well, I haven't always done this. I've had several different careers, but the reason that I'm here talking to you about health and energy and weight loss today is because I had my own dramatic health transformation 4 years ago when I discovered a program that made me look at food in a completely different way. Rather than the decades of yo-yo dieting that I'd always done. Who here has ever been on a diet? Yeah, ever been on a diet? Yeah. Who's ever felt like a failure because of a diet? Or maybe, yeah, at least half the room. That was my life, feeling like a failure. So I felt amazing at other things, my career, the adventures I had, riding a motorbike, leading big choirs, 800 people in a choir in Cardiff on the steps in the Oval Basin, raising huge amounts of money for charity. And I was capable, right? Couldn't bloody lose weight, could I? Couldn't lose weight. Yo-yo dieting. And so what I was looking for was weight loss, but actually what I found, going back to 2020 during lockdown, I found a program that completely transformed my health, and I didn't realize the better health and energy was there for me because I thought that all the symptoms that I was experiencing were part of life, right? Fact of life. So since then, I've gone on to become a master coach, and I've guided at least 200 people through the challenge, the 90-day program to a healthier lifestyle. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my experience on this program, but then more importantly, we're going to come to you. This is a workshop, and who has already downloaded the workbook that comes along with this? Great, if you've downloaded it. Don't worry if you haven't. You can just write, just write in your journal, on your notepad, whatever. But there is a workbook that accompanies this. It's a generic one for all my masterclasses that gets you thinking about your health. What is it that is important to you? How is it impacting on your life, and simple steps that you can take to make to make a difference. So I will talk to you about very real steps that you can take now this week, and I will also talk to you at the end about working with me if you want to, so that you can have the kind of changes that I'm getting, success stories that I'm getting from my clients. But even if you decide not to work with me, that's fine. You're very welcome here. I'm sure you will take a lot of value away from this anyway. This is for everybody. It's not just intended to be, only for those who want to work with me. So this was me, busy, doing loads, partying, having a good time, enjoying life. But the food and drink go along with everything, right? The food and drink go along with pretty much every event we ever attend. It certainly goes along with every social occasion we ever enjoy. So for me, for most of my life, it was either I was on a diet or I wasn't. And if I wasn't, I was enjoying life, drinking, eating meals out, pub meals, socializing, throwing parties. And convenience food was king, because I felt like I had to choose. Either I enjoy life or I'm on a diet and I'm miserable. So obviously wine was a big part of that. Where's my arrow gone? But what was the result? I was out having a great time, life and soul of the party. But the downside, it takes its toll, doesn't it? Because the food that we eat and the drink, not only does it put on weight, but it actually creates problems for us in terms of energy and in terms of our mental focus. So for me, the afternoon slump was massive. I can remember times where my mum and dad would come round. They've got the kids, and they think it's a great idea to bring the kids round, even though it's their time with the kids. I remember they bring the kids around mid-afternoon, and I'd be having a nap. And I was like, what are you bringing the kids around for? This is my time off, I remember being too tired to read to the kids at bedtime and just falling asleep while I was trying to read. I remember if I was in the office before lockdown, I remember wanting to just put my head on the desk and fall asleep. Has anybody ever felt that? Mid-afternoon, all I want to do is sleep. And you're thinking, I'm not getting enough sleep. I must get to bed earlier. That's what I was thinking. I must get to bed earlier. And now I know it wasn't just because I wasn't getting to bed early enough. That might have helped, but it was more to do with the food that I was eating. Now I know that. Stiff, achy joints, had no idea at all, but I was worried about it. I was really worried. I would ask people if I got arthritis. Am I getting arthritis? I was in my 30s. Nobody told me. It's the way you're eating, my darling. Nobody told me, not even the doctor. Not even the chiropractor could tell me that my stiff, achy joints were a direct result of the way I was eating. And I know it now. And all my clients know it too. And this masterclass is not about weight loss, but the knock-on effects for me. There's me in that picture. This is me at a conference, talking at a conference, having spent a week trying to find something to wear. What you can't see is I got some nice long black boots on there. And in the mirror, if I got the right pose, I was like, yeah, this will do. But that photograph now upsets me, to think that actually I really struggled to find anything flattering to wear. And it wasn't about being a certain shape or size. you know, I've always been very positive about my curvy figure. But the problem for me was that didn't look like me. I wanted to look like me, the authentic me. And when I looked in the mirror in shopping, you know, shopping for new clothes, it was always quite upsetting. It's like, that's not me. And I didn't know what to do about it. And then, as I said, when I discovered the program that I now coach, 2020, it changed everything because for the first time I learned how to get properly nourished. And that's what diets weren't doing, is they weren't properly nourishing me. Now, I'm just going to double check. I am recording this, aren't I? Because yeah, I'm recording this. So I didn't mention at the beginning. I'm recording this, my darlings. You know I am because I've offered a replay. Please, if anybody's got a problem with their face or their voice being on that recording, just come and talk to me and I'll do some magic. So another key strategy that changed everything was learning that it wasn't just hunger. But there were 6 different hungers, and one of them we've already mentioned, and that is thirst, which is why I wanted you all to get your glass of water. Take a sip. Thirst, one of the first human hunger. We need water more than we need food. If we don't have water, we couldn't survive more than a few days. And if we didn't have sleep, we couldn't survive more than about a week. Food, we can go weeks. Believe it or not, we can go weeks without food. I'm not going to ask you to do that. But the water is so important. Okay, it's one of the first hungers. And then there are 5 others. Emotional hunger, and we're going to talk a bit about that later on. Emotional hunger, we all recognize it, yeah? Who eats for emotional reasons? Comfort, boredom, yeah, pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
Me was more celebration. It wasn't so much for, oh, I'm so lonely. It was never lonely. It was just, but people eat for loneliness, people eat for boredom. We eat because sometimes we eat because we're punishing ourselves. All kinds of reasons, yeah. Emotional associations with food is huge. We're going to talk, that's one of the things I'm going to do a deep dive into today. That's one of the things that you'll take away, some strategies to deal with that emotional eating. So emotional eating, second of the human hungers, yeah. Nutritional hunger. Once we've dealt with, let me talk about low blood sugar hunger next. That slump, that desperation. Whoever gets hangry, oh, I need to eat now. If I don't eat now, I'm going to punch somebody. For me, that was getting in through the door after work, rushing home, getting in through the door and going, I need something now. And I can't cook. And it would be slice of bread and a smear of butter. I needed to eat immediately. Yeah, that, my darlings, that urgency is not natural. We couldn't have survived hundreds of thousands of years if our hunger was that desperate. It's debilitating, isn't it? It's not natural, my darlings. It's a modern day thing that we call low blood sugar hunger. It doesn't mean that you're all diabetic or anything like that, but it's just that feeling of I need to eat now because of our erratic blood sugars. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Nutritional hunger, there are a few more, but nutritional hunger is something that diets ignore. How many diets say most important thing is to get plenty of protein and a wide variety of veg, never mind taking anything away, it's more important to get properly nourished first. No, they start by saying you can't have chocolate, you can't have crisps, you can't have fats, you can't have this, you've got to count that. And that's why it doesn't work, my darlings, because you're already probably a little bit undernourished. I know now that I was very undernourished. And now they're telling you to stop eating stuff. So now you're famished as well as undernourished. So that's what I learned for the first time ever, was how to get properly nourished. And it's quite surprising. Anyone who's done my program, it's quite surprising, isn't it? Just how much is involved with getting properly nourished. And so I got conscious and intentional around my eating. we dealt with emotional hunger. I learned to prep and to cook, but not to spend hours in the kitchen. Just my grab and go, simple basics, get it done. What's in the fridge? Great. Here's something I made earlier. Off I go. That kind of quick and easy. And one of the main things that was different from the old style dieting was that I discovered for the first time how brilliant it feels. Not when you've lost weight, but how when you change the way you're eating, one step at a time, you feel better. And that is what made all the difference for me is, oh my goodness, I didn't realize that if I just made this one change, that I could feel better. And when we feel better in our bodies, that's what makes us want to continue. Whereas on a diet, I felt worse. I didn't want to carry on. I couldn't do it. Could never stick to it. But I learned something that helped me feel better straight away. And that's why it was so different. So cravings went. Emotional eating, got a handle on that. Afternoon slump, thing of the past. I know how to bring it back. Give me some typical Christmas food and this afternoon slump will come back. You know, that sleepy, you know, we've had some chocolates and we've had what, you know, our whatevers on Christmas and you want to sleep, right? So I know how to get it back, but I try not to because I don't really want to get that sleepy feeling. But here's the most amazing thing that happened to me is the decades of joint pain and stiffness went. I just couldn't believe it. That, you know, when I think back to 15 years ago, I was coming down the stairs, holding on to the banister, to the railing, and going 2 feet on the same step. Do you know what I mean? Coming down like a crab. Anyone had to do that because you haven't got much movement in your hips, your knees, that's what I was doing, coming down the stairs like a crab. And it was ridiculous. But I didn't know it was food, and now I know not only what causes it, but how to completely eliminate it, and know how to get it back as well. Sometimes it comes back. If I've had a weekend away, the kind of treats we get, Janet, when we're at the one of many, the kind of treats they feed us, the delicious flapjacks, and, you know, one you could get away with, but it's every single break, isn't it? So if it's constant, you know, sugar, refined, you know, floury things, cakes, cookies, it's going to come back a bit. And it's just a little warning sign. Oh, what have I been eating? And another thing that happens is I do the ring test. Anybody get stiff rings? If you get the tight rings. So I do the ring test every day. And if my rings are tight, which they are today, I go, what have I been eating? And I'll tell you what I've been eating. Saturday night, Chinese takeaway. Not out of choice, but I was at a weekend where the only option was Chinese takeaway. So I did the best I could. I ordered the protein and the veg, but still MSG, and I'm left with puffy fingers now. No guilt. It was quite nice. I would have rather had a nice healthy home cooked meal, but that wasn't on offer. So there we go. A little bit of inflammation has crept back in. So I know I've got the warning signs. So this is the key thing. Is I now know I'm free to eat whatever I want, but I know what causes the puffiness. That makes sense. And that's the first time I ever learned that. So yes, it's in my rings, but it's also not so much today, but yesterday morning, my eyes were like that. My eyes were like that. The puffy eyelids, the puffy under eyes, is a real warning sign that you've been eating something that's triggering chronic inflammation in the body. That's enough about me. Let's turn to you. Oh, dieting. Anybody tempted to go on a diet? Tempted? Right. For those who might be tempted, what is this true? Dieting leaves you hungry. Dieting drains your energy. Do you agree? Dieting creates cravings and food obsession. Would you agree? That's my experience. I'm not saying that's everybody's experience. And research, don't take my word for it, but do your research. Is it true that on average people gain 3 pounds for every diet they've ever done? Who would agree that that's been true for them? It was true for me. It was 2 for
I
me.
think that it's more than
More than 3.
3. I think
What's
so.
been your experience, Veronique?
More like 12 to 20 after a diet, because I'm always has this I sorry for my English, but I always have this diet mind. So when it's over, it's like everything that I didn't eat while I was on the diet, I'm just craving that food instead of being in peace with my relationship with food, right? Instead of working on that.
Yeah,
Yeah. It that
exactly.
makes sense. Oh my God.
Yeah,
I
no,
just learned a
you
new
don't
word, famished. I didn't
famished.
I Googled that word while you were saying it.
Please don't apologize for your
Okay.
English. English is perfect.
Okay, good.
You're doing great. Thank you.
Thanks.
Absolutely. My experience, more short term, was I would go on a diet and lose maybe a couple of pounds, 2, 4, maybe 6. And then the event that I'd been dieting for, which was either a wedding, I've had 2, or somebody else's wedding, or Christmas, yeah, to get into that dress, or whatever, or the holiday, worrying about how I'm going to look in summer clothes or on the beach. So I'd crash diet, get a few pounds off, and then the event, it'd be like, right, bring it on. Bring back all those foods that I just gave up. Yeah? And you pile it back on, and you pile on more, because now the diet has affected your metabolism, and so now you're gaining more. So if you are still tempted to do a diet after reminding yourself of all those things, be my guest, but I'm about to show you something much, much better. And it's bloody miserable, right? It's bloody miserable dieting. I mean, I spent decades doing it. I'm never going back there. And remember now, dieting is not a solution. The world might think it is, but actually it's an industry. Just like everything else, it's an industry. Let's get clever, and let's not let the industry manipulate us anymore, my darlings. And the same thing goes for the food industry. Right. So the program I discovered was called Wild Fit, but what you need to know about it is that it's basically not a gimmick. It's just the natural way of eating for humans. Every animal on the planet, every species on the planet has its own species-specific diet. Yeah? So elephants in the wild eat the wild elephant diet. Lions, they're animals of prey, aren't they? And they catch meat and smaller animals, and they eat basically just meat. And they thrive when they're eating their species-specific diet. Every species does, including humans. But do you think we are eating the human species-specific diet? And think back to our ancestors, the hunter-gatherer, right? Think back to caveman. Yeah, the bit of hunting, bit of fishing, gathering lots and lots of vegetables and fruit, anything that was around. And I don't want to get you squeamish, but it would have been bugs and small things like that as well. Look at tribes. You see on Attenborough, tribes, what they're eating. That's the natural human diet, the way we evolved. And that's the way our bodies really want to be fed. Is it reasonable to assume that if we could eat as close as possible to the way human beings evolved to eat, that we would be in our best health? Does everybody think that is reasonable? That because the body evolved to eat that way, that's the optimal way of eating? And it turns out to be true. It turns out to be true because through observation of 100,000 people going through this program. But actually, science now, quite new science, is demonstrating why it's true. So first of all, who's heard of the gut microbiome? Yeah, pretty much now. A lot of people have heard of the gut microbiome. And what that is all the microbes, bacteria, those kinds of things, good healthy ones in your gut. And we can control how happy or sad that gut is by what we put in. And if we put in man-made foods, the ultra-processed foods, modern foods, synthetic foods, additives, highly refined sugars, highly refined starches, we feed it that stuff, we get a sad microbiome. We get all the microbiota with long names flourishing that thrive on bad foods. Not to say good or bad, but you know what I mean. But if we feed our gut the healthy, the natural, all the foods we evolved to eat, the fruit, the vegetables, the eggs and fish and meat and herbs and spices and nuts and seeds, and drink plenty of water, then the gut microbiome thrives and all the good microbiota flourish. And that triggers better health, better skin, better clarity, better energy, better mood, increased immunity, fitness, said skin, and by some kind of magic, it boosts the desire for more of the healthy stuff. So have you ever noticed that when you're in a slump and you're feeding yourself the shitty food, you're feeding yourself the fast food, the convenience food, the chocolate, the sandwiches, the, you know, packet, the pizza, the Chinese. Yeah. When you're eating that way, have you ever noticed that you just want more of it? It gets you into a bit of a cycle, doesn't it? Now I'm craving it. Now I can't stop eating it. But have you ever noticed, if perhaps you've been on a health kick, and you've ever noticed that when you have had a few days or a few weeks of eating really well, that actually you don't crave the old stuff so much. You start to enjoy the eating well. And this is actually physiologically proven. This is what, if you look at, you know, all the modern, Tim Spector, Chris Van Tullochen, dear Michael Mosley, who we lost this year, devastated. All those experts on eating healthily will show you it's all about the gut. Yeah, so gut is just one thing, right? The second thing we talked about earlier, and it's the blood sugars. So when you are eating well, and that means not necessarily typical healthy eating, okay, let's talk about this. The difference between what the government or the NHS might say is healthy eating, that includes a lot of starches, right? The starches, do you know what I mean by those? The chips, the bread, the potatoes, the rice, the pasta. We didn't evolve to eat it, my darlings. We didn't evolve to eat highly refined starches. It's a man-made food. It's a modern food that it's, you know, in small quantities, it wouldn't be such a bad thing. But we're so reliant on it, and that's why we get this erratic blood sugar. So blood sugar is the next physiological aspect of what's happening to our bodies. And when we are nutritionally complete and we're eating in a much more natural way, our blood sugars are more stable and we satisfy the hunger that is known as nutritional hunger. So when we get all this right, these are the physiological reasons why these things improve and these things reduce. What reduces? Right. And this is from evidence of working with 200 people, but also with 100,000 people that are out there that have also done the program, but not through me. Afternoon slump is a thing of the past. The time you require for sleep goes down. Now, I've just had somebody in my current cohort say to me that she has gained an hour to 2 hours a day because of productivity and needing less sleep. Incredible, but so many people will say this. Your cravings go down, chronic inflammation goes down, brain fog and hot flushes reduce. All the symptoms of perimenopause reduce. The joint pain, the stiffness, the headaches, migraines, gut problems, days off sick, and risk of long-term disease. I can't give you a measurement for that because how can we measure into the future? But you will know in your body that your risk has gone down. So your measurements, if you do like, you know, cholesterol or any of those health indications, they will generally improve significantly. And body fat I've kept till the end because we're not focused on weight loss, but the average weight loss on my program is 20 pounds, and it's, people say it's sustainable. So let's talk
Sue,
about
So I lost
Anisha.
3 kilos in 40 days already. And that's not even trying.
3 kilograms without even trying,
And
Venetia.
4 inches around my waist.
Well done you, my darling. And
Yeah,
you don't mind me saying you're doing my
yeah,
program with me at the moment.
yeah. Mhm.
Thank you for that little, and we've only just entered the weight release phase now, haven't we? So
Yeah.
if you're doing so well, and there's not a huge amount of you, darling. You're not a particularly large lady, but you've already released, what's that, about 8 pounds. Well done. How does that feel?
Feels amazing because I was very conscious that I was like fat, and my clothes didn't fit and I just wasn't comfortable in myself. But now it's better and I feel more confident. My self-esteem's gone up. My mental clarity is just so much better. I used to suffer with depression and anxiety, and it's like virtually gone. Virtually gone.
Oh, Venetia, thank you so much for saying this. Huge well done.
And also the support from the community and Wildfit and Sue is just out of this world. I mean, you know, everybody's there for you every minute of the day, you know, so
Oh,
it's
you're
really
such
good.
a darling being here and saying, everybody, I didn't ask Phoenicia to be here, but thank you for being here. Well done. We don't celebrate, I wouldn't say, well done, £8. I go, well done, how do you feel? Yeah, we celebrate the non-scale victories. We celebrate how good we feel. And Venetia, you've put such a lot of hard work in to change some of those habits and behaviors. Huge well done to you, darling. Let's talk. Let's go have a look at page 1 in your workbook. If you've got a workbook, everybody, I'd love you to do some reflection for yourself. How is your energy? How is your sleep? How is your health? And if weight is a problem for you, I'll let you put that as well. How do you feel about your body confidence, if that's a thing for you? Is it hot flushes? Is it perimenopause symptoms? Is it the gut, IBS? Is it skin? Pop that down in your workbook. And what's the impact of the way you feel, the impact of some of those symptoms, the low energy, on your work or on your personal life? Is it fatigue? Is it lack of motivation? Is it reaching for another coffee and you know that coffee's not helping you because then you don't sleep very well? Davinder, I'm finding I'm positive when I start, but then things crop up and it makes me give up. Yeah, so no, you don't have that kind of stay-in power because it feels like deprivation, and it takes this tiniest little thing to go, oh, stuff this. I'm just going to eat what I want. Yeah, yeah. That's exactly it, isn't it? The old style. But when you discover this new, the way that Venetia's describing, when you eat and you feel better, you're motivated to eat, to feel better when you're feeling rubbish. So it's turning the whole thing around. And for those of us who have careers, businesses, are we fulfilling our true potential? What could we achieve if we weren't being held back by this lack of energy? And what's the impact on your personal life, your family life, how you feel in your life about the things that you love to do? Your family, my kids weren't getting the best out of me. And I don't live life with regret. But if I had discovered this earlier, I could have got so much more out of being a mum to young kids. And they could have got so much more out of me. Are you feeling low on self-care? You know, it's the first thing that suffers, doesn't it, as women? Everybody else is more important than our health, our self-care. And self-care is something that we need to start prioritizing in order to put our needs, our health, our wellness at the top of the list, because we can't give while we're depleted. Are you left waiting for something to improve? Are you left, oh, I'll do that when I fix my food. I'll do that when I've lost weight. I'll do that when I feel better. And just wanting more out of life. So the workbook asks you a few more questions. Feel free to leave some space and come back to it. But I would love to go to workbook question 4. And this is, how would you feel if you could become the healthiest, most vibrant version of you? And this is there for you. Know it. Take my word for it for now. Know that this is there for you. It's there for everybody. How would it feel? What difference would it make to your work, your loved ones, and any other areas of your life? Who would like to share? Who's feeling held back now in one way or another? And who would like to share how it could, what difference it could make if you were feeling at your best? Venetia says, Devinda, I was like that too, and I always thought it was okay and would start again. You were an emotional eater. Now you've learned to use, oh yeah, the food devil and food angel. It's a fun little game we play. Looking at both sides to why we eat. There's always the short-term side, because I often do the little sticks, the little pens. On the one hand, I want to eat now. The inner child, the inner devil goes, I want to eat the sweet stuff. I want to eat for the convenience. I want to eat this chocolate, this ice cream, this pizza because I want it now. But on the other hand, there's always another side of us that wants health, longevity, energy, and wants to be a healthy eater. Yeah. And when we treat the diets, try to stifle that short-term side, ignore it, use willpower, push it out. We don't do that, my darlings. It's ineffective. What we do is we embrace both sides and we ask the short-term side, what do you need? What is it you need? And the healthy side goes, well, what I need is healthy food. And that's what I really want. But I understand that there's a short-term side that wants junk food, whatever it is. And we need to have a dialogue. And that's a big exercise that I do with my clients. There's this thinking it through from both sides and coming to a conclusion that keeps both sides happy, rather than diets which just say willpower, ignore the short-term cravings. So let's move on to emotional eating. What is it for you? What's your emotional go-to when it comes to food or drink? Is it a glass of wine to relax after a busy day? Let's call wine food, yeah, for the purposes of this. Is it, oh, I had such a hard week, let's get a takeaway. Yeah, that's a typical one, isn't it? Such a hard week, let's have a takeaway. Quick and easy. Is a takeaway generally quick and easy? No, it's not, is it? You wait an hour. This was what happened Saturday night, right? I was with a group of people having some fun. Chinese takeaway was the only option because we didn't have access to cooking facilities. I said, oh, it'll be quick and easy. We were still waiting an hour and a half later, getting irritable. It wasn't a solution at all. I would have rather cook for everybody. Is it sitting down in front of Netflix on binge watch with some chocolate? Yeah? With a chocolate bar to comfort yourself. Yeah? No guilt, Janet, no guilt. Once we identify what it is and we ditch the guilt and we go, right, what is it? All it is this side of ourselves, yeah? No, thinking,
Yeah, which is what I know. So that's why I'm back because, yeah, we're not perfect, are we? And even when we know what we're doing, um, things happen and life happens and things get tough. But I'm here because I know diets don't work
yeah,
because I've worked with you before. And so I felt myself drifting back that way. And then I think, no, I need an injection of of Sue's wisdom. So
it's,
yeah.
thank you for saying that, my love. And you know that diets don't work, and you know that emotional eating is real,
Mm,
and you know that the program that I coach has the solution for most people. But
mm,
it doesn't mean that everybody gets, perfection. Right? It's not about perfection. It's about learning the strategies to support you to be better. Yeah?
yeah.
Perfect. And we never need to be guilty about what we're eating. When there's guilt, ask yourself, what is that really? When there's
Mm,
guilt, break it down to what's the short-term need, what's the long-term need.
yeah.
That's the scientific approach. It's positive psychology. Okay? That's what we're going to do. It's better, it's more empowering than guilt. So how do these foods leave us feeling when we've had the pizza or the biscuits or the late night munchies? And, how do they leave us feeling? Do they leave us feeling better? So generally, they can make us feel better for a minute, can't they? Oh, this chocolate bar is lovely. And of course there's joy in that. It's dopamine. It's dopamine, and dopamine leaves us feeling better momentarily. There's always a bit of joy. It's usually the first two mouthfuls of a pizza, and then it turns into, oh, I'm not so sure about this. So generally speaking, I think we can all agree that they don't leave us feeling better. They don't leave us feeling happier. They don't leave us feeling more connected. They don't leave us feeling less lonely. They don't relieve the boredom. So when we get clear about what they are doing for us, right, there's a nice yummy taste for a few moments. Then I start to feel overindulged, maybe a bit sick, maybe a bit regretful. That's when we break it down what it actually does for us. Then we can get clear about what we're going to do next time. Okay, so we ask ourselves, what is the emotional need we are trying to fulfill? Is it reward? Very often, I'm going to treat myself. Yeah, we want to treat ourselves. I want to feel loved. I want to feel loved. And this can get quite emotional, my darling. So if anybody is feeling, that way, it's okay. Because we associate food is love. We were given food for love as a child. So of course we're going to associate chocolate or whatever it is, ice cream, with love. Of course we are. And we can be more empowered with that as well. So what the question to ask yourself now, first of all, have a glass of water when that need kicks in. Don't deprive yourself whatever you do, because if you say I can't have the chocolate, I can't have the ice cream, things are going to get worse. So go, I'm allowed it. Tell yourself you're allowed it, but just put it on pause. Get yourself a nice big glass of water, drink that while you have a think about everything I've just said. And remember these pictures. Maybe make your own list. What else could you do to fulfill the emotional need that's calling? Okay, so it could be, I need a hot bath. I'm cold, I'm miserable. I just need a hot bath. I just need to get changed and cuddle up with a cat. Or the dog. I remembered when I lit some candles and put some beautiful music on. That really helped me feel more connected with myself. Oh, I used to paint. I used to love painting. That brought me joy. Oh, I haven't phoned Alison for ages. Let's phone Alison. She's always a good laugh. I wonder how she is. There's a good book that I've been wanting to read. That feels like reward. Reward myself with a nice hot drink and sit down and read that book that I've been wanting to read. Yeah? What else? Walk around, pop out for a walk. What else can you do to fulfill that emotional need? And I would suggest, or I would invite you to explore having a glass of water and doing the activity before turning to the food, and then have the food, the chocolate, whatever, then have it, because then you'll see the truth of it, that it doesn't really help you and you didn't really want it in the first place. Okay? Don't deprive yourself, because it'll make it more attractive. So this is the part of the masterclass where I ask you to consider what simple steps can you take straight away to start feeling better. So we talked about water. Please do try it. If you're not already, just add in more water. I'd suggest something like 6 glasses a day. If you're already doing well, increase it to 8 glasses a day. That's a pint. I don't mean 6 pints a day. I mean a tumbler. 6 tumblers, 8 tumblers. If you're a larger person, drink more. If you're smaller, you can drink less, but add more water. And we're also talking about adding in the next step, adding in more of the good stuff. We all know what the good stuff is, right? It grows or it roams the planet. It grows or it roams the planet. Fruit, vegetables. For those of you who eat meat and fish, brilliant. Clean meat and fish, not reconstituted. Eggs are brilliant. For those of you who are vegetarian or vegan, you've got your pulses, your healthy vegetarian, non-ultra processed proteins. Okay. Don't allow yourself to go hungry. Not for a moment. Make sure there's plenty of good foods there. And I will post the recipes, because I've got loads of ideas for things you can make and keep in the fridge. Tune in to how foods actually make you feel. If you've eaten something that makes you feel a bit rubbish, no guilt, but ask yourself, what would I do next time? I notice, be the scientist, right? I noticed that I ate the pizza and I felt crap. And I realise now that I could have had the chicken and vegetables and I would have felt much better. So rather than going, what's the matter with me? Go, thanks, Janet. What would I do different next time? Positive psychology, my darlings, right? And pick a few healthy swaps. We'll have a look at some healthy swaps. What about, instead of cereals and toast, what about eggs and avocado? Something like that. Beautiful. Instead of sweets, what about some delicious, brightly coloured fruit? Instead of grabbing a sandwich and a meal deal, or something even worse, what about carrying your lunch with you? Making something you know you like and carrying it with you. I teach this, but you know something you can take, yeah, that's going to be really nourishing and make you feel good. And what about, instead of milk chocolate, what about dark chocolate? What about having a couple of pieces of that and eating it slowly? That beautiful dark chocolate, like 70% is a beginner. I don't just mean your Bourneville. I mean 70% good quality, high cocoa solids chocolate that's got a lot less sugar and added crap that a chocolate bar has. So and I'm on, me and my clients, we tend to do 85%, some 90, some 95. And I know 1 or 2 that eat the chocolate that doesn't have any sugar in it at all. I don't like it. But, 80, that's the advanced level. You will find that the more you eat, the less sugar you eat, the sweeter things taste. Yeah? Yeah. Right. So here's the mindset strategies that you're going to need. Those are the healthy food swaps. Make a few. Here's the mindset strategies you're going to need. One doable step at a time. Diets don't do that. They say, here's how to eat. Off you go. One change at a time. In the right order. Commitment to your self-care and compassion. Self-compassion. More important than anything. Release that guilt. We've talked about why. Because guilt keeps you stuck in self-abuse. It keeps you stuck and go over and over and over. We need to release that to get the scientific analysis and planning. Celebrate every positive choice that's the positive psychology that is required to make lasting change. Reflect on anything that you choose that turns out to be unsupportive, or anything that you wish you'd done better. Reflect. Use positive language and replan. So these are the stages that I coach on my program. So we've got 5 minutes till the hour, and then I'll stay on to answer any questions for anybody that wants to stay on. I'm here. But just in this last 5 minutes, I'd love to talk to you about what's there for you if you want real change. So if that's all you need, what you've got from today is all you need, brilliant. Make some changes, take your time, one thing at a time, stay positive, check in with me every now and again. But if you want to make a significant change in the next 90 days, well, it's not the next 90 days because it starts in a couple of weeks, but in 90 days, we are talking complete transformation of the way you eat, of your energy, your health, your weight, your well-being. Then listen up. Increase your energy and clarity, we've talked about. Lose the afternoon slump, 1 to 2 hours of your day back feeling empowered. We've talked about that. Right, so how does the 90-day program work? One, we've talked about this, getting properly nourished. There's some surprising ways of doing that. Tapping into the positive psychology, learning to satisfy all 6 human hungers in the right order. That's key. And doing that before we deprive you, before we take anything away, before you start thinking, oh no, I can't cope with that. Because when you've satisfied all the 6 human hungers, you won't feel deprived. Does that make sense? You won't be hungry. You won't have the cravings. Learning the simple skills with real food. And this is key because at the moment, a lot of us think, this is it, Janet, prep is where I've fallen down. It's about not feeling organised. Now, with diets and diet books, who could get organised? I know one person in this room who could get organised around food. But most of us, we can't really follow all these plans, all these meal plans, all the weights and measures and it's hard, right? You need simple strategies, simple foods. What I've always got a meal in the fridge that's ready made. I've always got something in the freezer. I've always got this that I can grab and go. And if I haven't been shopping, I can always do an omelette. These kinds of things, as well as the more planned approach for those who are planners. Yeah, we need the simple skills, not how to spend hours and hours every day in the kitchen. I wouldn't have done it if it was that. And as I said before, when you make one change at a time in the right order, you feel better with every change. You want to keep the changes that you've made. Whereas on the diet, you don't want to keep giving up chocolate because it's painful and it's miserable. But when you feel better because you've added in some of the good stuff, you want to keep doing it. So one of the ways that it works is because it reprograms not just the gut, but the brain. We reprogram in the brain by having these positive experiences to feel better with every change we make. And we celebrate everything that, because we're celebrating, it's like, yay, I'm doing great. So positive breeds, success breeds success. Yeah. I call it the positive spiral upwards. And because nobody wants to live their life eating clean and natural and, perfect their whole life, we all want indulgence. I coach conscious gastronomy, freedom to eat any food. I had a Chinese takeaway on Saturday. I don't want it again, but that freedom to have whatever you want, whatever you can access when you're out and about, the best choice you can, the freedom to have the foods you want to include in your life, but without going back to the beginning. A new way of creating this, what I call the food freedom lifestyle, a new way of creating that maintains your lasting change without you feeling that you can't have a night out or a takeaway. Okay, so it is different from anything else out there because of things we've said so far. And it's impossible to fail because it's all built on positive change. And you get out of it what you get out of it. It's not a diet, it's not a detox, it's not short term. It's a lifestyle training program. Yeah. If anybody's worried about the meals because the family won't eat health food, don't worry about that. Leave that to me. That's what I coach, is how to eat with the whole family in ways that everybody's going to be eating better without noticing it. Yeah, makes sense. Davinda, can't afford to do the 90-day program, but is preparing food, not knowing what to do. So your recipes would be a great help. Yeah. Talk to me, Davinda, because I've never had anybody who couldn't do this program because of affordability, because I will always find a way to make it affordable. One of my values is to make this accessible to everybody. And yes, it's, of course there's an investment to be made, but if anybody needs this and does not have the means to pay what it would normally cost, then I will find a way. So have a chat with me anyway. If affordability gets in the way, I haven't done my job properly. But yeah, thanks for mentioning that. So it's not workouts, it's not an exercise program, but you will want to move your body. And I will support you to move your body in ways that feels really good. And I will help you know what the best things to do are. Whether it's swimming, walking, yoga, everybody's got their own thing. Yes, it incorporates movement, but in a beautiful, sustainable, individual way. Okay. No special foods to buy. Ordinary foods that are available in every supermarket or grocery or greengrocers or local farm shop. But Tesco's, Asda, you can get wherever you are in the world, we find a way. And I've said you'll never go hungry. And it's embedding the mindset and behaviors that you will need and the skills that you'll need for life. Now, couple of success stories. Angela did my program, started my program exactly a year ago. And this is a picture of Angela at the one of many gala evening when was that? September? And I wish I'd thought to get a picture of me and Angela together, but look at her in that beautiful red sequin dress. She's feeling amazing. Janet, you can't see it? Oh, have I stopped screen sharing? Oh, my darlings, all this time I've stopped screen sharing and I thought I was sharing. Sorry about that. Let me just go back and share my screen. I'm going to have to whiz through all the slides again. Share. I'd stopped to have a chat with you all. I've only just realised that I wasn't sharing. So there's the lovely Angela in that red sequin dress at the one of many gala event, looking absolutely gorgeous. So Angela wanted to do this because of the aches, no more pain, aches and pains, food no longer controlling her life, much more energy and body confidence. And then we can't talk about Angela's success story without talking about weight release, because she's maintaining now 5 stones. A lot of that she'd done before my program, but she feels like this program has embedded that change now, and she's maintaining at 3 dress sizes below where she was. And this is her sailing a few weeks ago in Corfu. And I'm going to do the same thing next year. I'm going to do my sailing certification in Corfu next year, following in Angela's footsteps. But let me see if there's anything that I wasn't sharing. Yeah, this. I read it out. I wasn't sharing. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll let you have the slide. If you want the slides, you can have the slides. Okay. I did read it all out. So, and this is Justine's story. Justine did the program with me earlier this year. And for Justine, she didn't join for weight loss. Perfectly body confident, fabulous. And she did it because of her joint pain and gut disorders. And Justine found it hard to get out of bed. She told me it used to take her 20 minutes to get out of bed in the morning by kind of, and like easing herself over to the end of the bed like that, and then putting one foot on the floor and taking a rest. And now she gets out of bed. Same thing with coming down the stairs. The pain for Justine was debilitating, and it's significantly better now. She still has some pain to do with a back injury, but that's improved. But the joint pain and stiffness is now greatly reduced. The skin, she says, incredible. She's had so many compliments about the skin condition. And you can see the difference in this beautiful orange dress that she's wearing. What a difference that makes. Veronique, have you got a question, my love?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were waving at me to ask me something.
No. No, sorry.
So that's just a couple of case studies, but if you have a look at my website, there are many, many more. I'm just going to pop a link. Nope, that's not the one. Right. Hundreds more success stories on my website. Success stories to do with diabetes, to do with fibromyalgia, neurological conditions, everything. Okay, food, relationship, eating disorders, everything. So if you want to find out if your particular thing has had results, go and have a look at that. And if not, just ask me. Men, teens, families. But for those who are interested in making a real difference, here's my offer to you. So my next cohort starts 2 weeks today, and it runs, yes, over Christmas, but I've timed it so that you won't worry about feeling deprived over Christmas, trust me. But you will be feeling healthier and lighter by January. Okay, and the normal Christmas, how do your Christmases normally go? If you have normal Christmases where you're gaining £6, £10, some of us, that'll be a thing of the past now. You'll learn how to do Christmas in a way that really supports you, and you have a lovely time as well. Okay. Prices range from £200 a month, but there's a whole range of prices. And if anybody can't afford that £200 a month, then we can definitely come to some, what is the word I'm looking for? Affordable solution. Okay, so talk to me. I'm starting to offer partial bursary places now for those that need it. In order to give you the incentive to book that call with me rather than umming and ahhing for weeks, book a call with me by Friday. I don't mean it has to be in the calendar before Friday, because I've got about 6 slots before Friday. But book that call with me for any time this week or next week, and let's just have a chat. There's not going to be any pressure, but it's a chat. It's a chance for you to ask me, what do you think I can get from it? What will I need to do? How does it work? Is it going to fit in with my lifestyle? What kind of results can I achieve? And I can give you a really good idea of how doable this is and what you could achieve. I can give you a really good idea because I've worked with so many different people. Okay. And the freebie that I will give you, if you book a call with me and you decide to go ahead, then when you join the cohort, I'll give you a free upgrade of 2 hours VIP coaching. Okay, so it's a little incentive to book a call with me by Friday. So if anybody's got their phone out and wants to scan that QR code, that takes you to the book a call with me link where you can, look through my calendar and see what's available. But I'll also put that in here, Health Cal. There we are. So that's if you're ready to book a call with me and let's have a chat. Like I say, it's only me, right? I'm very nice. There's the link to book a call. And then finally, I want to put that link in to thank you all for showing up live as promised to my recipes. So they're in Canva. You should be able to access it even if you don't have Canva. If it's a problem, let me know. But the reason I'm giving you the Canva is because otherwise it's a huge file. It's a massive file otherwise. And you'd struggle to download it. So that's all my recipes. Is things like always have a coleslaw ready, always have a grab and go hot meal ready, these kinds of things. So have a look at those and let me know. So any questions, my darling, or any, what have you learned? What's been your biggest takeaway from today?
I've got a question.
Adele.
Hiya. Losing my voice. And I'll start again. The 6 hungers. You mentioned about emotional, nutritional, and low blood sugar.
Yeah.
What were the other hungers? I'm not sure I clocked them.
Okay, so I will go through them now, but
Please.
for anybody that needs to go, if you go on my website and scroll down, there's a free guide to the 6 human hungers.
Okay, cool.
But I
I'm
will,
happy to do that.
yeah. But basically, you've got the thirst is number one, the low blood sugar is the next one. So we deal with these in turn. I'm telling you them in the order that we deal with them on the program. Low blood sugar hunger, nutritional hunger, get properly nourished, emotional hunger. Let's address emotional eating. We just had a little tiny look at that today. Well, we do this over a course of weeks on the program, right? Emotional hunger, variety. Variety. It's important that we get a wide variety of nutrients, and that is key to learn how to get a wide variety of proteins and a wide variety of vegetables and fruit, and that's key. And nobody has a wide enough variety. Nobody I've ever met until they've done my program. And I teach you surprising ways of getting more variety in. And then the final one, empty stomach hunger. So who's ever gone, oh, I must be hungry because I haven't eaten in hours, or I haven't eaten since yesterday. I must need food. We didn't evolve to eat food just because our stomachs are empty. Stomach empty does not mean hungry. Once you've experienced proper nourishment, you can happily have. I've got an empty stomach now. I haven't eaten today. Not because I'm trying to go hungry, because I haven't got hungry yet. Yeah, so you've heard of intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting, the way it's out there, is hard because everybody's going, I'm so hungry. I'm not. I'm properly nourished. So empty stomach hunger is last because you've got to experience proper nourishment before you can experience what it's like to have an empty stomach and not be hungry. Does that make sense, Adele?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
You're very welcome. They're interesting, aren't they?
I've got a dash now because I've got a garage appointment.
It's fine.
But
Come
thank
to
you
the end
so
now.
much.
You're very welcome. Thanks for being here. It's lovely to see you. And just stay in here now for anybody that's got questions.
Thank you.
I see you, Natalie. Hello, my darling. I haven't seen you in like 30 years. Can you jump on?
Yeah. Hiya.
Hiya, love. How are you?
I've just been sat in the background listening, that's all.
Everybody, Natalie and I used to have a lot of fun when I was like 16, 17, and I used to work in a scuba diving shop, and Natalie's one of my scuba diving friends. We used to have a lot of fun, didn't we?
So I'm just sort of listening because my stomach's still healing at the moment.
Yeah. Have you taken anything from it today, love?
Yeah, because God tell you the truth, working with the NHS is so busy and I'm so lazy. I eat too much processed meat, processed stuff. So it's just having the time, even though I like coleslaw and other stuff. But after my operation, I'm not allowed to drink at the same time as I eat. So I'm struggling to get that into my head. I can't drink for 30 minutes after I've eaten at the minute while my stomach's healing.
I completely understand that. And there is a strategy that I coach around that. So at all times of the day, first thing in the morning, at all times of the day, drink as much water as you can.
Yeah, I carry bottles of water with me.
And then when they've said you don't drink, which is after your food, and which is really sensible, not to drink too much water after food. And also for a lot of us, a couple of hours before bedtime, we don't want to be drinking a lot of water, do we? So we try and drink more at other times. And there's one other thing that might help you, darling, and that is electrolytes. So I'll send you a link to these. When we're trying to get better hydrated, because our water's depleted of all the minerals, especially if we're filtering it, it can help to get some electrolytes in your water. Could just be a pinch of salt. Yeah. But that's going to help keep us hydrated, because if there's no electrolytes in our water, sometimes the body just passes it straight through.
Yeah, how's it going to get in otherwise?
Exactly. So don't be buying anything like Diorolite, you know, the
Oh,
sport,
no, I don't know.
because they
No,
got a lot of sweeteners in.
yeah,
But get something that's a balanced electrolyte. You can get them cheap in the pharmacy, or just a bit of salt.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Great. Anybody else got any questions for me, Veronique? Should I send you an unmute button?
I
I
gotta
was
go now.
looking at your recipe and then I didn't see you. So anyway, my question is, it's basic stuff. What is the difference between your plan of 90 days, and that's the thing I don't understand, and the wildlife program? So I found you on wildlife. I've looked at the dates, and then you pop up because you
Yeah,
have something that's starting
yeah.
on the 21st, the 25th. So I don't
Really
understand.
good question. Really
Okay,
good question. So
merci.
when you go to getwildfit.com, you can find me as a coach,
Oui.
or you can just go and buy the WildFit program for £700, right? If you
Okay.
buy the WildFit program, you do it on your own. The videos say, here's what to do and here's why we're doing it. Okay. So you will know what we're doing each week and why. But I show you how.
Okay,
Does
so
that
it's
make
the
sense?
same thing. It's the same thing, but then I have a Zoom with a bunch of people every day. So we have a community and everything. So it's the
Yes.
same program, but
Yes.
with extra help, with I can ask questions just instead of just looking at a video and everything. Is that is
I will, exactly. So if you just buy the core WildFit program, you just get the videos.
okay.
You don't get any support, you don't get any coaching. This is why I'm here, is
Okay.
to coach you, to support you. You're in a community. The cohort that we've got running at the moment is 18 people supporting each other. The support in this cohort is like nothing you've ever seen. Everybody sharing recipes, sharing their strengths, supporting people when they're struggling. Look at the hearts coming from Jane. Yeah, it's so
But there's no access to those video. Is that right? The
yeah,
videos are you.
you get the whole WildFit videos. I give
Oh,
you those included in my package. I'm a master WildFit coach, and
okay.
I provide you with those videos.
Okay, plus the coaching, plus the community. This
Yeah,
is the difference. Okay,
yeah.
sorry.
The
Okay,
difference is
wait.
anybody who's ever bought those videos may have followed it on their own. I can't imagine anybody having significant success following it on their own. Jane?
Can I just say to Veronica that I've done it both ways, and this is a much better way of doing it in community with lots of support, loads of support from Sue. So it's a much better way of doing it.
Yeah,
Thank you, Jane.
thank you, Jane.
And
My
it's a
other
cheaper
question,
way, and it's a cheaper way of doing it.
I didn't understand that word. What did you say? Cheaper way. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. My other question, since I'm from Montreal, Canada, what time do you gather? Like, for instance, you're gathering with Venetia, the group that you're in. What for this time is perfect for me, 1 o'clock for you guys.
Half of our calls will be at this time,
Okay.
and the other half of our calls will be 6 hours later than this.
Ah, so perfect for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Mondays and Fridays, it's usually 1 p.m. It's 1 p.m. on a Friday and 7 p.m. on a Monday, or it's the other way around.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh my God, perfect.
I
Okay.
haven't set it in stone yet, but it's never in the morning. It's never in the morning our time. So it's always, doable for you.
In my morning or in my afternoon.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
okay.
Yeah.
So that fits. So that's perfect.
Yeah,
Stars aligns.
that's right. It
Thank
fits.
you. Am I the only Canadian that you ever got on one of
No,
the
I've had lots of Canadians.
okay.
Yeah, lots. I'm just wondering, book a call with me, Veronique, and we'll talk through any questions you've got and
I'll
what you.
do that. That
Yeah,
was my main question because I was so lost in the Wild Fit website. And then I saw you and look at your stuff, and I was like, oh, I like this face. I don't know why, it's a feeling, right?
yeah.
So that's
There
why I
are
booked with
Wild
you.
Fit coaches. There's only 10 master coaches in the world.
And you're one of them.
I'm one of them. I'm the only master coach in the UK.
How lucky am I? Huh? Okay, thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Jane and Venetia,
Thank
for
you,
your
Veronique. I
for
look.
So can I
sharing your experience
so
too. So.
so can I just respond to Davinder, some of Davinder's stuff? I have put it in the chat. Davinder, I was struggling as well financially, but I followed Sue for 2 years maybe, and I've had calls with her, and I did the week's plan, which was amazing. But Sue sorted it out for me, and it's the best money I've ever spent. You know, the support you get from Sue and Jane and everybody in the community is just fantastic. But don't be hard on yourself about giving up, because even on this one, I've like thought, oh, I'm going to give up, and I've had wobbles and stuff. But I've just reached out to people, and they've just been amazing, helping me just pick myself up, dust myself off, and get back on it. So don't be hard on yourself. You can do it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Venetia. Yes, you can do it. Absolutely. You cannot fail this program because if ever, and you've experienced this, Venetia, if
Yeah.
you've ever gone off plan, I'll
Mm.
just lovingly help you find the positives in that, you
Yeah.
know? So those off-plan moments are really good because they're like, "Ooh, interesting. What can we learn from this? What can we do differently?" Yeah, it's
And
all
but yeah, and like somebody reached out to me yesterday that started martial arts with me, and he's like, I need to lose weight, I need to do this, I need to do that. What's this thing you're doing? And I was telling him, and I said, so I don't want sugar anymore, I don't want carbs and stuff. I said, so you need to like do some exercise as well. And he's like, well, I stand at work and eat sweets. And I went, that's why you're not losing weight. He's Spanish, so I'm going to talk to Sue about getting him with the Spanish coach. But even when I'm out and I'm seeing people eating bags of crisps, and I'm thinking, do you actually know what is in that? What are you eating? The crap that's in those crisps and stuff. It's just ridiculous. So you look at food in a totally different way now.
that's it.
Totally different.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? It's that new perspective on food that makes you want to eat good, clean stuff and really not want the stuff that's artificial and man-made.
No.
Yeah.
If I can just, what I really like about your date, which is the 25th of November, is that we're going to be together uh, on Christmas, right? Which is the the biggest holiday of all, and all the treats and the chocolate and the carbs all over the place. So I think
Absolutely.
it's interesting. If I can go through that Christmas, I
Yeah.
can go through life, right?
This is really important. So many people don't realize. I think a lot of people think, oh, I can't do a health program because I've got to get Christmas out the way. I'll do it in January. This is a better time to do it than January because of exactly what you just said, Veronique. If we can learn to do Christmas in a way that's more supportive, that leaves us feeling energized, that leaves us feeling positive, that leaves us feeling like we're achieving something and we're focusing on our health, but still have a lovely Christmas meal and still have some lovely Christmas treats, then you're learning how to do not just Christmas, but holidays and parties in a way that is completely sustainable, that's not going to cause the weight gain. And actually, by doing it over Christmas, what we find is people still get the same results, even though they might deviate a little bit at Christmas. They still get the same results. And here's the thing: for everybody that would have gained £10, they're going to be releasing instead of gaining. So this Christmas is going to be very different from previous Christmases.
Veronique, I went to the shops and they've got in Spain, and they've got all the Christmas treats out, biscuits, cakes, you name it. And I'm like, I so love all of the treats. I got my mum a bag of biscuit, like ginger biscuits with chocolate on. I was like, yes, I love these. And I said to Sue in the community, I really wanted some, but they're on top of the fridge now, and all I do is sniff them to get that hit. I don't eat them.
Because how amazing is that? Because we've looked at our food relationship so closely and what it is we want out of it, that we can actually enjoy certain things, and we can walk past a bakery or whatever it is and go and just really appreciate. And sometimes we can just really appreciate other people having things and know that it's not serving them very well. I'm just wondering if Davinda or Elizabeth have any questions for me before we close. Elizabeth, I see you're there. If you do have any questions, please feel free to jump on or just get in touch afterwards if maybe you're busy making lunch or whatever. So everybody, thank you so much for your oh, there you are. I see you, Elizabeth. Hi,
I was.
how are you?
Hiya, hi. I was eating my lunch, but I'm not now. I just want to say I'm a very strict vegetarian. I'm not completely vegan, but I'm a very strict vegetarian. And I need quick, easy stuff to do. And a lot of kind of the vegetarian stuff involves, soaking pulses and stuff like that, which I don't have time for. I know you can get very good tinned ones and stuff. And one thing that I know I struggle with is my protein levels.
Yeah.
So does this take, like I know at the beginning you were saying, oh yeah, you kind of have to eat how you were evolved to eat, but I can't eat meat.
I've got a vegan going through this cohort who's doing really, really well. And she doesn't even eat eggs.
I don't eat eggs.
And I've got two vegetarians who eat a little bit of fish. Do you eat any fish?
No.
Right.
No fish, no eggs, nothing that has like no gelatin in it, nothing at all like that.
It will absolutely be doable. We focus on protein. It's protein first. So we're going to be looking for all the healthy protein. If anybody needs to leave, I'm only here answering questions. So thank you, and I'll see you again soon. But yeah, absolutely, it's possible for vegans.
Okay, and it's for people who don't have much time.
Yeah, I'll make it easy. I'll make it easy for you. It's a bit of an investment in time to start with while you're getting used to new ways. But then I'm going to teach the quick, the convenient. Oh, something's just happened my end. My screen went off. I'm going to teach you to create your own convenience.
Okay.
Okay, so sorry, thanks Elizabeth for that question. So everybody in your cohort knows how to do it with meat, but then we'll all know the knowledge if we want to include more vegan stuff, right?
Exactly.
Okay, parfait. We need you, Elizabeth, because it's fun to. I've been I've tried everything. I know I'm not good without meat, but I don't want to eat meat all the time. So that is perfect to know, other stuff. And I know I have a sensibility to eggs too. So that's a good question.
So sensitivity to eggs, we'll sort that out. That'll change when the gut changes. Anybody that's joined this that has had or sensitive to strawberries or eggs or celery, the vast majority of those lose that sensitivity on this program. Anybody who does eat meat and fish that is committed to eating less meat and fish, I will show them how, because this focus on protein is what's important. The focus on getting the wide variety of proteins for vegans, vegetarians is key. And so I will teach you the strategies to do that. And Elizabeth, if you did it and you felt that it was just too onerous and impossible for somebody who's a vegan, then I'll release you from the program.
Okay.
I want you to be confident.
Win-win situation.
And I've got a lady on this who is vegan, who's going through it now, and she's got fibromyalgia. So she's doing it to see if she can improve her fibromyalgia. So if you wanted to talk to somebody who's doing it as a vegan, I'd be happy to see if she'll talk to you.
Okay. I have just booked a call with you for next week. I can't do today or tomorrow, which was the only other slots. But I booked one for next week.
Yeah, perfect. Great. Well, we can
Okay.
have a much better chat about that next week.
Lovely. Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks,
Thanks.
Sue. Have a nice day, and
everybody.
I'll book a call too.
Take care. See you soon.
Merci. Merci beaucoup. Bye bye. Bonne journée.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.